Welcome back to The Explainer. So glad you're joining us today. If you're really looking to master cloud security, you've absolutely got to start at the foundation. And today's focus is exactly that, mastering endpoints. We're going to unpack what they actually are, how they function across all these different platforms, and fundamentally, why getting their configuration right is literally your ultimate defense for keeping any cloud environment secure. Whether you're working in network security, InfoSec, or cloud architecture, endpoints, they're the universal starting line.
Here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. We are looking at what are endpoints, user devices and IoT, the role of APIs, virtual machines and instances, securing storage endpoints, and finishing up with protecting your cloud. Let's dive in.
Starting with Section 1, what are endpoints?
Okay, imagine the cloud as this giant, impenetrable fortress, right? Well, endpoints are basically the vulnerable doors leading inside. We need to know exactly where every single door is and exactly how to lock it. If we look at the formal definition from our source material, an endpoint is simply any device, application, or service that communicates over a network by sending and receiving requests. It really is that basic. If a thing talks to the network and the network talks back, boom, that's a door we've got to secure.
I actually really love this visual because it breaks it down using something you probably have sitting right on your desk, a plain old pen. Just like a pen has two distinct ends, network communication has two endpoints. Over on the left, you've got end number 1. Let's say it's your laptop asking for some specific data. Then on the right side, you've got end number 2, the cloud server that receives your request and fires back a response. So the device asking for data is an endpoint, and the server answering is also an endpoint.
Let's put this into a real-world scenario so you can see it in action. Think about when you open up the Amazon app on your phone. That is step 1. Step 2? You search for, say, a new pair of headphones, and your app sends that data request out over the internet. And step 3, the Amazon cloud server catches that request and blasts the product details right back to your screen. Your phone is endpoint 1. The Amazon server is endpoint 2. Now, because data is constantly zipping between them, cyber attackers are absolutely going to try to intercept it. That's why locking down these interaction points is non-negotiable.
All right, Section 2, user devices and IoT. When you hear the word endpoint, your mind probably goes straight to everyday consumer electronics, which is totally spot on. Your laptop, your mobile phone, your tablet, those are the heavy hitters making constant requests. But we also have to factor in things like smart TVs and, critically, IoT devices, the Internet of Things. You've got to remember that every single one of these devices acts as a gateway to a much larger network.
To really highlight how deeply integrated this is, just think about a standard home or office security camera. That camera is an IoT device. It just sits there 24/7, recording and beaming video data straight to an AWS, Amazon Web Services cloud server for storage. Now, if that camera isn't set up and secured properly, a hacker doesn't even need to bother attacking the AWS server directly. Why would they? They just compromise the poorly secured camera instead. Getting the configuration right on these user devices is absolutely step 1 in keeping the whole network safe.
Moving on to Section 3, the role of APIs.
So now we're shifting gears from physical hardware to software. API stands for Application Programming Interface. You can kind of think of an API as a digital bridge. It's where two totally different software systems meet up to exchange data. Whenever multiple apps need to talk to each other and share info without a human having to push any buttons, the API is the engine making that happen. And trust me, in cloud security, APIs are treated as major high-priority endpoints. Let's look at something we've all done a million times. You download a new app, like Spotify, right? And instead of going through the hassle of creating a completely new account, you just click Log in with Gmail. When you do that, the Spotify app on the client side sends a request over to the Gmail server. Gmail steps in as this OAuth permission gateway, asking you, hey, do you want to share your data with Spotify? But here's the brilliant part of a secure API. It doesn't just hand over your private emails or passwords. It strictly shares the bare minimum, non-sensitive info, like your name and email address, just to get the Spotify account running. Those two APIs are acting as secure endpoints to keep your private data safe.
And honestly, we see this exact thing everywhere. Shopping for shoes on your phone? You're sending client-side requests. The server-side API acts like a little location scout, digging up the exact product info from the correct database and handing it back to you. But here's the catch. Because APIs are the bridges carrying all this incredibly valuable data, insecure APIs are massive targets for hackers looking to trigger data breaches. To secure them, you need rock-solid authentication protocols. We're talking proper OAuth configurations and strict tokenization, ensuring that only the applications you actually authorize get to cross that bridge.
Okay, Section 4, Virtual Machines and Instances.
Now, when we zoom out to the enterprise cloud level, massive companies aren't just running off a couple of basic servers. They are leaning on huge virtual infrastructures. These are the real heavy lifters we're talking about. Amazon AWS EC2 instances, Microsoft Azure services, massive hosted SAP systems, and complex CRM products. All of those virtual machines and cloud instances, they are vital endpoints. If you're a cloud security pro, vigilantly protecting these enterprise-level endpoints is pretty much your top priority, because this is where the actual lifeblood of the business lives.
Which brings us to Section 5, Securing Storage Endpoints. Whenever we talk about cloud storage, AWS S3 buckets are basically the prime example. Picture an S3 bucket as the ultimate destination, this sprawling digital vault holding unbelievable amounts of corporate and user data. And because all that precious data just sits there, resting in the bucket, that storage endpoint has to be incredibly locked down. Let's map this out using Netflix. So, step 1, you're on your couch, use your device to request a movie. Step 2, that request shoots through the network and knocks on the specific endpoint where that video file is stored, like an S3 bucket. Then in step 3, the storage endpoint safely packages that massive data file, fires it back to your TV, and your movie starts streaming. Securing that specific storage endpoint means guaranteeing that only authorized users get to knock on that door and actually receive the data. And finally, Section 6, Protecting Your Cloud. So think about all these endpoints we've just covered. Your phone, the APIs, the virtual machines, the S3 buckets. Like we said, they are all vulnerable doors. Attackers are constantly rattling the handles to see what they can get away with. So how do we lock them? Well, first, you roll out multi-factor authentication, or MFA. You rely on identity access management, IAM, so people only have access to exactly what they need to do their jobs and nothing more. You enforce strict API tokenization so your apps aren't talking to strangers, and you double-check that OAuth is dialed in correctly everywhere. These are the literal locks we put on our digital doors.
And this totally circles back to the core philosophy of cloud security that our source material points out. You have two main goals. Goal 1, reduce the probability of an attack ever happening in the first place. But goal 2, knowing no system is absolutely flawless, you have to configure your endpoints so that if an attack does happen, you minimize the impact. You contain the blast radius, making sure an attacker can't just hop from one single compromised endpoint to the entire rest of your cloud environment.
Now, why are we hammering this home so carefully today? Because whether you're cramming for a college exam, prepping for a big technical interview, or you're already out there working in cybersecurity, this terminology is your bedrock. Cloud security, network security, InfoSec, they all rely on this exact framework. If you fully grasp how endpoints work, you understand the entire battlefield.
We have definitely covered a lot of ground today, seeing firsthand how endpoints really are everywhere, acting as the vital links connecting your everyday phone to these massive global servers. So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Take a look at your own devices sitting around you today. Knowing what you now know about how insanely interconnected everything is, are your endpoints truly secure? Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and I will catch you in the next explainer.